So I feel like today we'll jump into regrets. That'll come up at some point, right?
Okay, well, yeah, I guess.
Do you have any? Get out of here with that.
I'm pretty sure my life is one giant regret.
Spanish, you are a good-looking man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Good to have you live on the radio on this beautiful Saturday, the 21st of June. Happy summer solstice, by the way.
Thank you very much. Happy summer solstice to you. I'm feeling the radiation come in nicely.
Did you charge your crystals?
I did, maybe.
Nice.
Well, I'm a moon charger, so that was last week.
Of course you are.
During the full moon.
Yeah,
you asked.
I did.
You know?
And it doesn't surprise me at all that you would charge your crystals via the moon.
Do I have them in my pockets now? No.
Get your hand out of my pocket.
I do.
Nice.
What?
Good for you.
Yeah, always.
Welcome to Let's Get Real. So what is Let's Get Real? It's a show where two dudes talk about crystals.
That's right. Crystals and feelings.
Yes. Actually, what the show is really about is giving guys support, and I invite you to call. 1-800-771-1025 is our phone number. As we have been doing for over a year now, we just literally give you a space where if you're talking about work, regrets, family, addiction, whatever you got, we want to give this as a space for dudes, specifically dudes, because women, y'all got it figured out, to just call. And I'm not a therapist, and Spanish is not a therapist, and that's probably a good thing.
I agree. I think I would take too much of that home.
Yeah, I take my work home and I deal with 50 clients who cry a lot.
Yeah, I am my work and I take me home and I hate it every day. So it would be too much.
That is a lot. But yeah, so if you want to call, and I'll say this again, we applaud the courage of the gentlemen that call the show, because we recognize that it's not easy to do that, especially when dudes call and are like, man, I thought I was never going to call this show, and here I am. My daddy died last night.
Yeah, well, not that I love, but it's always interesting when you talk to somebody and they're like, I never thought that I would be here, man, but I don't know what's going on in my life, and I can't get a grip on anything, and you're just like, yeah. Nothing has really changed. You're just more aware that you have no control of anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is so true. It's like when you hit that point where you feel like your life is spinning out of control and all that. It's just that you're just more aware.
Yeah, you're more aware, and now you just can see that the car's been out of control the whole time, man. Is it freaky? Just at first, until you're like, yeah, this feels nice.
Take your hands off the wheel.
Woo, let the wind hit your face. Yeah. Whatever, man. Whatever.
Yeah, I need my truck needs alignment, so when I take my hands off the wheel, it takes a hard right.
Oh, Mama Mia, Papa Pia. You got to get that taken care of.
Yeah, I'll get taken care of eventually. So I got to come up with the money for that. So if anybody does alignment or tires.
I wish I could help.
It's totally fine. But yeah, our phone number, 1-800-771-1025. If you've listened to the show before, you obviously know what it's about. If you don't want to call, we respect that too. So what Spanish and I try to do is just tackle things. And oftentimes they are things that come up in our lives. We were talking about regrets earlier, so I know that's going to come up because I just think that's a thing.
Oh, 100%.
It's just a real thing.
And I love regrets in the sense of I think it's all man-made. I don't think regrets are even real. I
would agree. At this stage of my life, whereas I think about regrets, I guess we're kind of talking about regrets now. It is a function of the human experience that it's a choice. Mm-hmm. It's an ego choice of, do you look back on your past with regret, or do you just accept in the present moment that things are exactly the way they should be?
Yeah, and I love, the regret that I hear the most is I regret not getting ahead in my career earlier on to make more money so that now I would be more financially secure. And my response to that is always, well, is that like a real regret, or did society just tell you that you need a bunch of money, so that's why you feel like you have this regret that you need more, even though if you had more, you'd still feel like you needed more. So
right.
Why
it's a never-ending thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're always searching for this, like, and even if you get all the money, are you happy at that point?
Not a chance.
I would try it. I would give it a whirl, but I would probably end up at the same place. Because it's not about the money. It's not about the material possessions.
That's the thing. I find, for me anyways, right now especially, because I'm fortunate enough to not have to work right now. And I've noticed that now when I binge on something, or when I'm like, I'm going to do this weekend, I go way harder than I did before. Because now I'm like, I got the money for it. Why not? I'm going to go out and have some drinks. I'm going to do this and do that. Then the next day I'm like, why? I'm older and my heart cannot take it.
Yeah.
My liver hurts.
Yeah, hangovers hurt worse the older you get.
Oh, it's the worst.
They absolutely hurt worse the older you get. That is a tried and true. I can absolutely 100% attest to that.
And I regret the migraines that come.
Oof.
Never used to have them. Now,
stop. Get out of here. All right. So our phone number again, 1-800-771-1025. Let's dive deeper into the regrets later on because there's something that's specifically touching on what you just talked about with your job and your job search that I want to talk to you about. Good on you to have purchased, I don't know, Bitcoin in 2010 or whatever it was.
And Ethereum. Yeah,
Nice.
I got to tell you, that is the only smart financial decision I've ever made in my entire life. And boy, do I not regret that one.
I'm sure you don't. I had a buddy of mine introduce me to this thing called Bitcoin like forever ago. And I was like, yeah, man, that's cool. Okay. Some new currency down the road. Get out of here with that. Yeah, that might actually file under regret.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because that dude is doing really well. And he's a total conspiracy theorist guy. It's exactly who the crypto people were when it started. It's like, man, the world's coming. Like, you got to buy this stuff. It's only a nickel.
Yeah, you got gold and crypto. What can you do with crypto? You can buy drugs and hookers online. But I'm telling you, in like 30 years, it's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, and you just look at people like that and you're like, yeah, man, whatever. That dude's living in a mansion right now.
Yeah.
One of many.
And he's still crazy, still a conspiracy theorist, still bangs hookers and buys drugs online. Yeah. Nothing's changed for that guy.
Exactly. He's got all the money in the world and still he's the same person.
Yeah.
Something that, so two things that came up since this is our warm-up break and we're getting, just the feel of things that's to take a left turn on this break. So my buddy Kevin, as I've told you many, many times, I have 3 friends in my life. 2 of them are named Kevin.
Kevins.
One of them is named Spanish.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I'm going to have to fight the Kevins.
So I was talking to my buddy Kevin, and he goes to a therapist weekly. And he just very offhand was like, yeah, man, she's just like my mental hooker.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, dude, that's awesome. I've had horrible experiences in therapy in my life. I'm not poo-pooing it. It's just not been a thing for me. But he was like, yeah, man, I really look forward to seeing her. And what's funny, it's a marriage counselor.
Awesome.
And he and his wife used to go to this marriage counselor. And ultimately, she stopped. His wife stopped going. So he just goes now.
I love it.
Yeah. And he's like, man, I look forward to it. I get to just undress her in my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's doing the same thing to your mind, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
But he was telling her, and I've heard this feedback before, and not tooting the let's get real horn here, but there's something here. Is he was telling his therapist, his mental hooker, about the show. That here's a show of 2 dudes, one spiritual. We're both spiritual, but you're very
insane.
Mm-hmm. Insanity, spirituality. And I'm just more of like, as a coach for almost 20 years of just segmenting things down and helping people get from where they are now to where they want to be. But we just help dudes. Like, we are literally dudes helping dudes. That's what we do. That is our goal, whether people call or not, to have conversations that are way deeper than surface level, more than just like, hey, what's up, dude? What's up, dude? And this therapist looked at my buddy Kevin and said, wow, that's really needed right now. And I was like, it is. We're actually doing good. We're actually serving others. We're actually doing something that could have a positive impact on people's lives.
Yeah, that feels good.
It does feel good. And it got me just kind of thinking, which will tie this into when we talk about regrets and some things I want to talk about you, is that when you find the place in your life where you do something, whether it's needed, defined as such or whatever, but when you come to a place, I think that not the answer to it all, that's not the right word, just maybe the goal is service of others. Service of others is a place where if you go in that direction, and I've been trying to figure this out for like 20 years. Like when I used to run the radio stations here, I was like, yeah, I'm serving others and make people laugh in the morning, which is just crap. But there was something there. But it's like, is that from a life's purpose perspective, like a direction to go, truly serving others? And I think there's something there.
I would agree. I'd say that much like the rest of the duality of our universe, life and death, you have regret and then you have serving others, right? Regret keeps you in this loop of you're just constantly beating yourself down, and it's self-serving, totally selfish, totally ego-driven. But But so is service to others, because I love serving others because it makes me feel good. So it's the opposite loop of regret. Serving others gives you a good feeling. It boosts your ego, and it also helps somebody in need. It's a win-win, whereas regret would be the lose-lose opposite of that.
Well, then it's entirely selfish to help others.
100%.
But it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's totally awesome.
It is if you're doing it selflessly, I believe is the word people use.
Okay. I get that.
If you're going in to help somebody with what's the word? Like that hidden agenda, then that's not good. That's not good. That'll bite you in the ass.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I totally get that. Hey, John is on. John, welcome to Let's Get Real. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, buddy.
Hey, this is for people that that try to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, man, I hear you great.
Okay, I learned this about 30 years ago in a career. You focus a lot, you get those ups and downs, but the simple solution is the quality of your communication to yourself determines the quality of your life. And I learned that about 30 years ago. And when I got depression or, was in that slump where I needed that little boost, I always went back to that. And that's some pretty strong stuff. But, hey, thanks for the line and have a good day.
Hey, man, thank you, John. That's really good.
Yeah.
And that's so true.
Yeah, it is.
The quality of the conversation you have with yourself.
Yeah, it's I don't think a lot of people realize how much they beat themselves up during the day until you stop and kind of sit back and go, why would I say that to
You
myself?
would never allow another human being to talk to you like you talk to yourself.
It's craziness.
It is absolutely bananas. And the thing is, we all do it.
And this is what really pisses me off, like genuinely makes me mad, is people will call me crazy. And I'm like, yeah, but you talk trash to yourself every day.
Yeah.
And I'm the lunatic because I can stop and say, no, I'm not a piece of trash. I love myself. That makes me crazy because I meditate and I carry crystals in my pocket. You just told yourself you're a piece of trash for 30 years, man.
Right.
Get out of that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it's something, boy, when you see that, because and I love John's comments about that the quality of your life is dependent upon how you communicate with yourself. And I guess I saw that a long time ago, and I was just like, what is this voice? Who is this voice in my head? These thoughts that I can't control, and somebody tell him to shut up.
Yeah.
Because I would say things to myself, and this is probably 15 years ago, and I had this sort of awakening, if you will. I was like, why am I allowing these thoughts? And it's not like, oh, I figured it out and they all went away, because it wasn't that at all, because they still creep in. But it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
When you realize that, when you shine a light on it, when you see it, you don't have to be it.
Yeah, that's a big thing. When you see, you don't have to be it. I like that.
Yeah.
And I found the more I dig into what that voice is, the more I just found that it's just the little kid in me that's terrified. It's terrified.
Oh, that's a good point.
And
good point.
When I hear that voice in my head, especially in high stress situations, where I'm like really feeling down on myself, or I start to feel depressed, I'm always like, where is that coming from? And then I remember, oh yeah, that's just my ego, who's just a little kid that just wants to be safe, and wants to be loved and doesn't feel any of that. So I'm just going to give it to him. I love you, little buddy. It's going to be all right.
That's
it's
so
gonna
cute.
Be all right.
That's so adorable.
Right. Yeah.